Coming up in this episode of the Sendy Mom Podcast.
It just was something that I had and had to overcome. I had to work really hard to get over all that.
I'm Becky Brower, and I'm a Sendy Mom. Welcome to the Sendy Mom Podcast. Welcome to the Sendy Mom Podcast. I am so excited to be here with my good friend, Dorothy Scoresby. We are neighbors and we have been friends for a very long time. You've been here for 52 years. So I've been super excited to have Dorothy on the podcast because she has so much wisdom. So why don't you go ahead and tell me a little bit about yourself, maybe the family that you were raised in and some of the things that you like to do as a child. What was the family dynamic there?
Well, I grew up with 3 sisters and no brothers. So we were 4 years apart.
Okay.
My mom had a hard time with pregnancy, so we were 4 years apart. So it took us a while to make a friend out of our siblings.
Yeah, that's a big gap.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
We were, of course, good now, and we're pretty good in high school, but it took a minute. But I'm a farm girl from Idaho, and we grew up with a dry farm and a wet farm, we call it. And so we had space to run and play, and that's what we did.
Okay, tell me what a dry farm and a wet farm is.
A dry farm is up the hills about 9 miles east of where we lived, and it was, my dad raised grain,
okay,
wheat.
And it just didn't use as much water.
It just was rain.
Okay.
You can't irrigate.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. So the wet farm you can irrigate.
Got it.
So he'd grow mostly beets and hay.
Okay.
We had cattle, and so it was mostly hay the most of the time. But so we did some farm chores. We didn't do the heavy things like lifting bales and things like that, but we always drove the truck or the tractor or whatever was necessary.
Mm-hmm.
And
so how old were you when you started driving your tractor?
Oh, I don't know, 14 maybe.
Okay. But everybody had responsibilities on the farm.
We did. We all more or less did the same thing when our turn came.
Okay.
My dad had me do the beets because I cut out fewer beets than the other sisters did.
Okay.
So I was the beet girl.
Okay. So what did you do when you did the beets?
I just drove this tractor, and my dad would sit behind with the cultivator, they called it, and he'd cultivate the beets with it. He would operate this little apparatus behind me.
Okay.
And but I'd turn the corners, and that's where you cut out the beets.
Oh, okay.
And so when you turned the corner, I would try to be really careful. My dad was kind of a perfectionist, very kind. He never got mad. He was always very patient with us. And but he realized that I was the best, and so I got the job.
That makes you feel good. Like as a child, especially, you want your parents to be proud of you and to not be disappointed in your work. So that makes you feel really good when you can do it the way they want you to do it. So.
It was a good time to grow up. It was a small town. I had cousins all over the place. I had boy cousins, and we could play, and then they'd go home. I didn't have to live with them at night, and it was just fine. And they didn't tease. We just had fun.
Yeah.
And so
what were some of the things that you did to have fun? I mean, you didn't have you didn't have as much TV and movies and things, screens or whatever. So what do you do for fun?
Oh, for fun, it didn't take much to have fun. We could read. We'd go out. We had a barn that we'd play in, and we spend hours playing in that barn. We had, you'd go down the road a little ways, ride your bike down the road, and there was a big runoff. The water would run off of the crops, and it would be there. And there were all kinds of fowl down there, cranes and all kinds. We'd go down there and play.
Just play in the water.
Just whatever. Yeah. We just didn't need. In fact, we were on the outskirts, and I had friends in the little town, but it was 2 or 3 blocks away. Mm-hmm. And if I wanted friends, I had them there and I could go. But I kind of liked being out by myself and just doing what I wanted when I wanted. And but we had things to do, chores to do, piano practicing to do, and etc.
Mm-hmm.
And but probably the best part of growing up, one of the best things, was our summer vacation was a week at Yellowstone Park.
Oh,
every year. That's where we went.
That was your family gathering. Okay. Did you have a house there, or did you?
No, it was a little cabin.
Okay.
It was 3 rooms, a kitchen in the middle, and 2 little bedrooms on the outside. And we had to pack everything
in.
Everything.
Yeah.
Food, blankets, everything.
Yeah.
It was kind of rustic, but we loved it.
I imagine there are some really good memories from that.
Yes. And all the cousins would come, and then some of the people from the town would come. So our friends were up there.
Oh, well, perfect.
Yeah.
What was Yellowstone like back then?
Well, it was a place where you could run and play all by yourself with your friends. You could run off and be gone all day.
Wow.
And you wouldn't have to worry. And my mother didn't worry. When I was little, I hadn't learned my numbers yet. I guess I must have been 4 or 5. We didn't have kindergarten. Mm-hmm. And I told my mom, I said, I don't know which cabin is mine, because they were all the same. And I said, if you'll put your apron out there on a nail, I will know which one's mine.
Oh, that's okay. That's good. One hump to the apron. I love it.
I needed to learn my numbers fast.
Yeah. Were there any rules that your parents had, like when you were growing up, that maybe you took with you?
Every Saturday we cleaned our bedrooms. That was it.
Okay.
And sparkling clean. And then we'd go through the week, and Saturday'd come again, and we'd repeat.
Do the Saturday chores.
We just didn't keep them clean during the week, but we knew what to do on the end of the...
Yeah.
My mom loved gardening. She had beautiful flowers, roses. She was perfect at rose raising. Mm. And we had this garden, and we had a tree house. We had apple trees. I can still come home and remember from school in September and climbing the tree house, which was a board or 2.
Okay.
And eating those apples.
Oh, they were out of the tree.
Out of the tree. And they were so good. Wolf River apples.
See, that's why I knew I loved you, because you are so much like my mother. Like, really, I need to get her on this podcast too. But she grew up on a farm as well. But down in Arizona, they had an orchard of citrus fruit, and they had a little tree house as well that was kind of the same. They ended up building like a little structure around it or whatever, but I think that's what she spent her summers doing too, just sitting up in the tree house eating oranges. So yeah, good times. And I remember doing that when I'd go to Grandpa's farm. So yeah. Now you guys have kind of built your own bit of a farm.
A little bit. It's an acre, and our grandkids think it's a farm.
Yeah. How many acres did your dad have growing up?
Oh, the wet farm was about 60, and the dry farm was about nearly 4,000 acres.
Wow.
So it was pretty big.
That is big, yeah. And what's happened to it now?
My sister and her husband bought it from us, and so they have it now. And
they work it?
No, it was in the CRP program for all those years. So
what's the CRP program?
CRP is the government program where they pay you not to grow your wheat.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
So, and there are windmills up there, and they pay them for the windmills. So it's pretty lucrative. But now she's a widow now, and she doesn't know quite what to do with it. So
yeah, because that's a lot of land.
It's a big project.
Wow.
So.
Do you feel like you were a cautious child or a reckless child?
I was a shy child.
Okay.
Just very shy. I was really shy.
Uh-huh.
You wouldn't believe it today,
no.
But I was. And being out in public and with other people, older people, scared me to death.
Really?
And it was really hard to get through that. And
why do you think that was?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
I feel like you were, because you were a little sheltered on this huge farm, right, and probably didn't have, and your sisters were distant from you or whatever. So I wonder if just having that isolation is so easy to just be by yourself, right? It's so much easier. Did your parents set up play dates for you ever, or was it just kind of up to you?
It was just up to us. My dad was really busy in the summer, of course.
Yeah.
And my mom was a little bit kind of nervous
reserved, maybe? Or?
Maybe reserved, but you didn't want to upset the apple cart. You tried your best to be good and happy and obedient because you knew that it would affect her.
Okay.
And she was a delightful woman. She was humorous. She was fun. We loved her, but she came from hard times.
I see.
Really hard times. And she was a part of a polygamist family, and there were things in there that were difficult. And she wasn't the healthiest either. She had diphtheria as a child.
Oh, wow.
And it probably lingered somewhat.
Yeah.
And so anyway, we knew our boundaries, and we knew exactly how to do it and what to do, what not to do.
Exactly. So you learned pretty quickly what was expected.
Right.
And maybe that kind of makes you a little bit more shy too, a little bit more nervous that you're going to do something wrong.
I don't know. I don't think I was smart enough to think through it like that. It just was something that I had to overcome. I had to work really hard to get over all that. I had friends, and I was good with friends, in school and junior high and high school. Had lots of friends, but boys, no. Shy with boys.
Yeah. That's funny. I was actually very shy too as a child. And I remember standing on the playground just hoping nobody would talk to me. So I understand, but obviously I've gotten over that too. So tell me some of the things that you did to be able to get over your shyness.
Well, in fourth grade, our teacher had us pass around a paper that said our name at the top, and we were to write something about each person. Okay. And they'd just go around the row like this. And one fellow on there said, "Come out of your shell." Wow. And I read that, and I don't know one other thing that was on that paper. I cannot recall, but that I recall. And I thought, okay, if it's noticeable, I better do something about it.
That gave me chills. Seriously, the effect that just one person can have on you it completely changed your life. That one comment from somebody. Yes. Like a fourth grader.
And then here's one more little incident that I think was good. I can't remember how old I was, 5th or 6th grade maybe. But we had a piano competition.
Okay.
And you drew a number so that you could perform the same song, the spinning song, over and over. Can I
love
stand?
That song.
Can I say, I hate that song.
Now you hate it. My mother used to play that all the time.
So when I drew about a 23 or something like that, so it was a big thing. And this girl behind me she reached up to me and she said, "Would you trade me numbers? I need to leave early." And she had a 43. And my 40-something. And my mom I looked at my mom, and my mom looked at me, and she says, "You decide." And I said, "No, I just can't do it. I just couldn't wait 20 more people." And I think that was the first time I was assertive.
Yeah, stood up for yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I just thought, after it was over, I thought, good for you, dear.
Just advocate for yourself. I think that is an important lesson, and that actually probably did give you a lot of confidence.
Yeah, it was something I've never forgotten.
Yeah, that's really great. Well, what are some other memories that you have, maybe from high school, where you succeeded at something that you were really passionate about?
We just had a lot of good friends. We didn't have a huge high school or even junior high. And so we knew all the people. We were friends with lots of people. We had our kind of best friends, I guess you'd say, but it was such a good time to grow up, and we were happy, and we got along. If we didn't have one friend in this class, we had another friend in this class, and it was just, you were never alone. You were always, someone was there for you. The only thing I can think of to tell you right now is that my husband Lyn was the student body president. And
That's not surprising.
I think I was the secretary.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so
how cute. When did you guys meet? Did you grow up together?
More or less. We met in when we were 12 in the swimming pool.
No way. Okay, now you have to tell that story, and then you can go on to high school.
Well, that's all there was to it. He said he tells the story better because I was oblivious, but he said he knew right away.
Wow.
I had long hair. And it was braided. And so my mom would take out the braids and it would be wavy, and pretty. And he said, I looked at that hair and he said, I think that's the girl for me.
At 12.
At 12.
That's pretty amazing. So you dated while you were in high school?
Once or twice or three times. Very little.
Okay.
But we were friendly.
Okay.
We weren't buddies, best friends.
So did you feel the same way about him?
No.
Okay.
No, I did not. It took a while.
A lot of convincing.
It took a while. Into college.
Okay, well, you could go forward and you tell me about being in the student body. I mean, that's a big Sendy thing to do, especially for somebody who's kind of shy to run for office. I did it, and it was a really embarrassing thing, and I didn't make it. And it's in my small town in Idaho. But
I think it would have been better if I hadn't, because I don't even remember if I was good at it. I don't even recall what
Who's really good at anything when they're 16 years old, really? but the fact that you tried.
Okay,
right?
I guess I can. Okay, and that brings me to one other thing. On your little paper, I read something hard or something that I did in high school. Well, I tried out for the opera that they would do. They did the one every year, and I tried out. And I wasn't a great singer, but I was a little bit. I could sing a little. And they gave me a part. Okay. And here's the part. It was so funny. I was there's a name for it, but I can't think what it is. The in between the curtains. Oh, okay. The scenes. And so they'd bring the curtains, and then I would come out and I sang this song. I don't know what it was.
You sing a solo?
Solo all by myself and walked across the stage.
That's amazing.
Why would they give it to me? I don't know.
You did it. That's impressive. I don't think I've ever sung a solo in my life.
I think it was not great. I remember my mom telling me, "Wow, that was quite a."
But you did it. I
did it. So.
And I don't know. I love saying on this podcast, like, you have to be bad at something before you can be good at it. And so just the fact that you try things, that gives you a little bit more confidence to try the next thing and the next thing. So yeah, and which obviously has happened because you're a very confident woman now. So yeah,
it took quite a few years.
Yeah, but it was hard. It's hard, right? Mm-hmm. And then, okay, so high school, and then tell me about the story with you and Lyn. Like, how did he?
Well, it just off and on, like I say. I had let's see, jump to where the end, maybe where we ended. I had a friend that was his friend and my friend, and we drove up to the field because he was on the tractor. Okay. And we were talking across the fence, he came out and visited with us. And he says, he asked me for a date. This is after the mission, after everything. And he was we were both in college.
Where were you going to college?
BYU.
Okay.
And and then after that, we kind of started to date.
But you weren't quite sure at the beginning, but then he was able to convince you, I guess.
Well, he said something to me one day. I said, well, what do you want to do when, what's your life story? What do you want to end up doing? Yeah. And he said, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I know I won't fail. Huh. And I thought, that's good enough for me.
Yeah. So he was determined, and that's what attracted you to him too. Right. Yeah, I can relate to that. I think that ambition is attractive in a person, and so I think that's part of the reason why we need to teach our children some resilience and some ambition to take risks and to do things and to be confident in their own abilities to be able to be successful at what they are striving to do.
And that makes a difference to the partner.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It just, if he hadn't said that, I don't know where we'd be today, because that did it. Yeah. For me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And especially growing up on a farm, I imagine that work ethic was kind of drilled into you of like, hey, we're going to work on this farm, and we're going to get, benefit from the fruits of our labors. Right.
And both of us. We're farmers, so we had a lot in common. Yeah, and he worked hard, really hard. Yeah, he was the last son in his family, so he was home with his dad a lot, and they depended on him a lot. So he was a worker.
Yeah, well, he still is.
Still is a worker.
Yeah,
he's still working.
I know. Let's go ahead and go through like your motherhood and what it was like raising children. because you largely raised your children without any screens either. And I think that that is like a real issue for a lot of mothers today, having that distraction always. I remember like always with my children trying, like, okay, you've had enough, go do something else. And it's so hard for them to find something else to do. Like how were you able to keep your children busy during their childhood years and growing up?
Well, we had a system. Here's, first of all, let me say this. Since I didn't have any brothers, I ended up with 5 boys. And it's a good thing they came one at a time.
Right.
So we didn't really plan on having that large of a family, but as it turned out, it did. Mm-hmm. But we had a system, especially in the summers. We had to do our chores. There was a list, big list, and they had to do everything. We had to read, they had to practice their piano, they had to do this, they had to do that, they had to weed, whatever.
Yeah.
And they couldn't play until 1:00.
Okay.
So after lunch, then they could play.
Okay.
So that was just the way it was. And the system worked for the street because we all did it.
Right.
And that helped a lot.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So, and then they were free. Mm-hmm. But probably I read an article about boredom is good. Mm-hmm. And the reason it is because it teaches them how to think and to figure it out for themselves.
So. Yeah, and to be more creative.
Right.
Yeah. And
so they were. They just did all kinds of things. We did have a gully and a little pond.
Yeah.
They spent a lot of time down there.
Okay, and I think I remember Stephanie saying something about like water skiing on that pond behind a truck or something.
The oldest son did. It was a canal.
Okay.
But it had checks. So you'd have to be really careful. So you'd stop before the check. And but I didn't know this.
You didn't know.
No, he didn't tell me this till they were all grown up. And but there were kids on the street. In fact, there were so many people on the street. We filled a bus.
Wow.
And when they'd come, they'd pick them all up for school.
For high school and everything.
Both almost.
Yeah.
Because we moved out here when our kids were 5 and 4.
Okay.
And 3 or whatever. So
yeah.
Anyway.
That's amazing. And this was the very first neighborhood in Highland. It just surrounded by farmland everywhere.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it was lovely because there was space all over the place, and the canal and the pond. It just kept our kids busy all the time.
Yeah.
And so
it's nice to have a place to roam and to be free, for sure. So not everybody has that, and that's unfortunate, but there are different things that you can do to help to keep your kids active, or to be involved and to think creatively. Do you still read quite a bit?
I do. Now I listen because I listen to books because I can quilt and listen.
Yeah.
So I do that a lot.
Now let's go into your passion, like the quilting stuff. How did you get into that?
Well, Gwen Smith, my neighbor, was always making quilt tops.
Okay.
And so I would, she'd make the top, and I would get the batting and the bottom and put it on over at her place. And they were always humanitarian quilts. And so I watched how she would do it and learned how to do it like she did. And then she moved probably 7 or 8 or 9 years ago.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I can pick this up. I can do it. So then I decided I would. Yeah. So then I started. Mm-hmm. And
yeah, they did it. How many years did she do that before they moved?
A long time.
Yeah, because it was when I moved into the neighborhood.
A long time. We just once a month or something. I can't think how we would do it, but we'd gather. The ladies would gather. 4 or 5 ladies. Sometimes we'd have too many.
Yeah.
And they couldn't even sit around there, to quilt. Mm-hmm. But we just always did. And I just found places to take the quilts, and mostly good places. One time I took one over to Pleasant Grove, a bag full, and she just threw it up on top of in a whole pile of stuff. And I thought, I didn't like that. So, so I didn't take them back there. No. They're too precious, they took work. And but now we've developed a system, and I have 2 or 3 ladies that make tops.
Okay.
And they give them to me, Tina's mother.
Oh, okay.
And she's a quilter, so she makes really nice
really
tops.
beautiful tops.
They're pretty.
Yeah.
And so she keeps me busy, and I like to make them myself. I try to teach myself new ways to fix a block. And
yeah.
I get everything from YouTube.
Yeah, you can learn a lot.
And so that's what I've done.
Well, and you also made quilts for each of your kids out of your dresses or something. Yeah.
Several years ago, like 30 or 40, I had these old high school wool skirts, and I thought, well, I'm just going to sit down and cut those into squares. So I did, cut them all out, had a pile of squares, tucked them away someplace.
Okay.
Didn't even know where they were, and finally found them one day. So I said to my kids, I said, do you want to make a quilt out of these blocks? Heavens, no. And so then I said, okay, I will. So then I got this idea, and I thought, I can do that. So I made one for each one different.
Okay.
And it took 6 months.
Okay.
And so then I decided, well, we'll have a party. And so I fixed all their favorite foods that they grew up with, and fixed all their foods. It was just delightful.
I love that.
It was so fun.
What a beautiful gift to give to your children, a heritage, really. I know Amy Lucas, she makes quilts out of all of her kids' old jeans for their graduation, like for their senior gift or whatever they get. She gives them a quilt out of their jeans. And so I think that's a great way to like celebrate their life, you know.
It is.
And pass on some of your memories too. So, and have good pioneer spirit. Use it up. What is the saying they say? Use it up, wear it out, or do without, whatever.
Well, now that pillow was out of scraps.
Okay.
And I thought, oh, I've got piles of scraps. Now I'm into scraps. And so I make these little cute things out of scraps.
I love it. Yeah,
and
use it up. You've got the pioneer spirit.
I do have it. But I love it. It's like, get your work done, get everything done so you can go down and quilt.
Yeah.
And so that's what I have to do.
So that's your current project right now is just using up the scraps. And what kinds of things do you make with them?
Well, I just, I didn't send you a picture of it, but I right now I finished a top that's just scraps.
That's inspiring because that's using your creativity. And like, I think that's what keeps us vibrant is being able to tap into that creativity and use it somehow. So I think it's important, especially as we age, to have some sort of an outlet that uses our brains a little bit. And if you're using these scraps, you're having to like piece them together and it's like mathematical and geometrical and whatever. So that's awesome.
And it turns out fun.
Yeah.
And that's the thing of it is, in fact, I get it done and look at it and I think, how on earth did I stand to do that? Because
it's amazing.
But anyway, but see, I have to entertain myself. And that's what, this is a quick story. 5 years ago, we started to remodel our kitchen. And so we had a fire in there. That fire. So we had to move up to this little property that we have. We have a little house up there. It's about a mile away. And Lyn was counseling over Zoom.
Right.
And so he was there every day. Well, I had nothing to do. I couldn't sit in that house. It was teeny.
Yeah, right.
And it was fall, September through December. So I thought, anyway, I came down to our house that was being remodeled. And they put electricity in the freezer, where the freezer was, and the next room.
Okay.
So I had 2 rooms downstairs that had electricity. And so that's where my machine was.
Okay.
So that's when I started. Because that's the only place I had to go.
Yeah.
And so I started to teach myself.
Well, and you know, what a great thing to do when you are maybe a little bit more reserved and you're more introverted, to be able to have like a room there where you can just work on your project and stuff was probably kind of nice to just be.
And that's true still, because he still works 2 days a week and he's in the office.
Okay.
And I just have to do something. I can't just walk around the house and weed. And
no, yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think that is really important to be able to keep your mind sharp and everything. So yeah, but as you age, I think it gets a little harder to do, the physical kinds of things. So how have you been able to age with just so much joy?
I think we're better off than many people. And so far, the arthritis hasn't set in, so the fingers are good. That helps.
Maybe that's why you need to be the primary pianist, so you can keep those fingers moving.
I don't know. I started to practice again, of course, and Lyn says, "Oh, I like that sound," and I don't practice. Sometimes I'll sit down and play a little, but not much. Okay. And I should really.
Well, there you go. That's maybe the reason why you're going to be where you are. She's going to play for the young children in our church. So it's my favorite calling. So I think having a purpose, having a reason, helps you to feel like you can move forward. But the physical stuff can be kind of irritating, right?
It is harder. I still weed periodically, but I don't love it. It's the hard, getting up and down is pretty hard. But my kids came over for my birthday this year and weeded, planted my flowers, and cleaned my house. Best birthday present ever.
Yeah, for real. I could totally see that. Yeah.
So I don't know. My daughter says, I don't know if we can do this every year. And I said, well, think about it.
This would be a great birthday present. You don't have to buy me anything else. No. I have loved chatting with Dorothy. She is truly one of my heroes. I am grateful for all of the lovely people I have met over the years, and I am still meeting Sendy Moms everywhere. In fact, I am really hoping to expand Sendy Moms soon, but I can't do it alone. This has been a one-woman show and a real passion project for me, but I have some ideas that I hope would be helpful to people. If you are interested in partnering with me in coming up with ideas for get-togethers with other Sendy Moms, or helping me with publishing content on the website or social media, I would love to have a friend to work with. Please reach out to me on social media or at sendymom.com@gmail.com. I'd love to know what you would like to see happen from Sendy Mom. I have loved meeting some new friends through the podcast. If you would like to be interviewed, please contact me. Each of you truly are the hero in your story. I love finding the best parts of people and bringing them out. I've done some amazing Sendy things this summer. I've mentioned a little about my HXP experience. I truly love being able to meet many people who are doing good in the world. I think it's really important to meet people who might be different from you, because as you talk with people, you realize they aren't really that much different. I met a woman who didn't speak much English, and I didn't speak any Tagalog, but she sat down and had a conversation with me. That is Sendy. I met another woman who had a difficult family situation. She was divorced with children she was desperately trying to teach to be good humans. I met another woman who, with her husband, was trying to eradicate poverty in their part of the world by feeding children who were undernourished. I was also able to swim with whale sharks, an incredible Sendy adventure. Ziplining through the jungle was also a highlight, as was canyoneering, jumping off of cliffs, and sliding down natural water slides through a canyon cut into the jungle. All of those things were Sendy. I'm happy I get to try so many new things. But your Sendy doesn't always have to be jumping off of cliffs. It can be picking up a hobby, something that you want to get all of your chores done quickly, like Dorothy, so you can just spend your time doing it. I'd love to hear about the Sendy things you're trying to do. I will be adding a page to my website, sendymom.com, with all of the Sendy suggestions I've received from my guests and a few more. Let me know what Sendy suggestions you have on the form included on that page, and I'll add them to the list. I am grateful to all of you who have shared, liked, and reviewed the Sendy Mom podcast on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, and wherever you listen to the podcast. If you have found the podcast useful, please consider leaving a review to help other courageous people find us. My next guest is a strong and courageous woman who has definitely jumped into life before knowing the answers and has truly learned how to do hard things and to grow from adversity. I hope you will enjoy my conversation with Carissa Dodds, my sister-in-law. Tune into that next episode to learn about overcoming anxiety and to find joy in the journey. We should go back and talk about your kids though. How many kids do you have and what are they all like? What's their passion and what do they love to do?
Okay, I have the 5 boys and 3 girls. And our second was a daughter. And she wished for a sister every time we had a boy.
Yeah.
She'd weep
Aww.
every time we had a boy. And then when she got the sister finally, she wept again for joy. And they're all around. They have been off. So they were out and about, but they're all back.
They're all in Utah?
They're all in Utah.
Wow.
So they're around. We gather often. And we like to be around each other. And we did take 2 trips this last few years. We planned a trip to France because Lyn loves history and he wanted to take him to Normandy.
Oh.
So we were going to go to Paris and then Normandy and then over to the Holy Land.
Oh.
So that was all planned in one big trip. But COVID hit.
Yes.
So we ended up breaking it that very morning before we went to the airport. They said, you cannot get into Israel.
Oh.
So we were on our way to Paris. So we just stayed. And we added on about 3 or 4 more days, and they just had a ball.
All together. And it was just the kids?
Just the kids.
And their spouses?
Their spouses.
Okay.
And they loved it, loved it.
That would be amazing. Yeah. I there is something about getting your kids together after they've gone off. When they're adults, they're so much more fun, right? You know, if you've raised them well, if you're good friends still, it's just nice to see them coming back and wanting to do things with you. Like my youngest, my 14-year-old, we tried to take him up. We took him up hiking the other day, and you would have thought that we shot him or something. It was so horrible for him to go for a hike, but I had to remind myself, okay, yes, Kyle used to be like this too. He used to say this, and now he hikes all the time, and he loves hanging out with us. So it's going to change. It will be fine.
That's true. That is really true.
You just have to have hope.
You have to get through those years.
Exactly. And you've got how many grandchildren?
24 grandchildren and 1 great grandbaby, finally.
Oh, my goodness.
Our kids are not marrying.
Really?
And the kids that aren't having babies. So it's just different.
It's kind of hard when, when you watch your children grow up and they do things a little different than you did. So how has that been for you, watching your children make different choices than what you would have done?
It was hard work for me to be a good parent. And but their kids are good kids, and they're close. They're sweet with each other. They're all not perfect. We love them anyway. The kids growing up, sometimes they'd bring you news that would kind of put you on the couch for a minute, and you'd stay there for 3 minutes, and then you'd think, okay, I guess I have to get up now and carry on.
Carry on.
So you would.
Yeah.
But you couldn't stay there forever.
Yeah.
But I'd give myself at least 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And so that.
So did you ever explode? Were you did you ever show your anger in
a couple of times?
You seem to be a very patient person.
Now, but back then with all those kids, not so much. Too much television would set me off.
Oh.
And I, in fact, Lyn one time cut the cord because it was just cut it. And then they learned how to splice and put together 2-ended cords. And then they would hide them away. So we didn't know where they were, but they knew where they were.
Oh my goodness.
So they'd get an old appliance, an old hairdryer, and cut off the end of it and fix it so that they could watch TV.
Pretty smart kids.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Oh my goodness.
But they'd have the youngest one tested out so that he would be the one that would be shocked and not.
which might have happened.
Could have. But anyway, they still have memories of that day.
Oh my goodness.
I wasn't my best.
No.
But
yeah. But we learn and we just keep trying and carry on.
And you know what? I love those kids to this day. It doesn't matter what they've done. It doesn't matter how hard they work.
Yeah.
I just love them to death.
Yeah, absolutely. You do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will miss them when I'm gone.
Yeah. And you just have to support your kids,
Yeah.
especially once they become adults. Like, you really don't have any control. You have influence, but like, you can't lecture your kids. I remember, anytime there were times when I really wanted advice from my mom. And so I would ask her, and a lot of times she'd just say, I know you'll figure this out. And I appreciated that. Sometimes I just wanted her to tell me what to do. But the times when she told me what to do, when I hadn't asked for it, I got very defensive.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is, when children get to be adults, they're very, nervous and they're not sure what they want to do. And all they really need is that confidence. And so it's hard to change from being this is what we do and teaching and whatever, to this, like, being this supportive role, and then watching your kids making these choices that that are not going to end well, or you're pretty sure they're not going to end well, but having to continue to support them.
And that's true. You just they need to know that you will, and that you love them no matter what.
Yeah.
Even these grandkids, that's a couple of them that are distant from, the way we were brought up, and we just love them anyway.
Yeah, no, everybody's life, it takes a different turns, and it's really what you decide to do with the things that happen that make the growth in your life. So that's awesome. Really good. Okay. Can I ask you about the polygamy in your family? Because I think that's kind of an interesting topic for people. What was it like growing up with grandparents because I have polygamy in my family too, but it's several generations back. So you knew your grandparents who had...
I knew my grandmother, my grandfather had died before I was born.
Okay.
So it all happened before that. But my mom would tell us a story or two, not a lot, but a story or two that was difficult. She was she was older, in her 30s, and wasn't married, the second wife.
Okay.
And the bishop or the stake president asked my grandpa to marry her. And it was after the manifesto, which always
really
bothered me. So he did. And she was younger, and she was dressed well. She had pretty clothes, and he took her down to Mexico.
Yeah.
And then my grandma followed, which my grandma by that time was 45 or whatever.
Yeah.
And
how did she feel about it?
Well, I don't think she loved it.
I would have said no.
I don't know. I don't know the whole dynamic.
Yeah, sure.
But my mom grew up with their kids. All those kids were born. The second wife were around my mom's age.
So your mom was
the
first. Yeah, she was the last one of the first wife. Got it.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that she loves those boys, and there was one girl, and she just loved them. And because they grew up together and loved each other, and they were good people.
Yeah.
But she died youngish. And so I asked my mom one time, I said, did Grandma and Grandpa ever get together again? And she says, I don't think so. She says, I think the sons took care of Grandpa, and my mom took care of my grandma. Oh. In fact, she lived with us for 10 years in our home.
Is that right? Okay.
So my mom had 2 or 3 babies while she was taking care of Grandma.
Yeah. Well, and the thing about polygamy too, it wasn't like everyone was practicing it. It was kind of an invitation sort of a thing. And so, from what I understand, it was partly to help these women who had no prospects at all, so that they could have some posterity. And, but boy, it was just something I don't really understand. I'll just put it up there on the shelf.
I'm like you. I get it. I understand it, but it was close. for my mom. See, it was that's close.
Exactly.
And she has a story to tell. Like she said, well, Grandpa would always take the other wife the biggest peaches and give my mom the smallest peaches.
So I'm sure there was a little bit of animosity there, or jealousy, or competition, whatever. So that would be interesting. No, I just thought that would be, because that's a little bit closer than most people have to that generation. So anyway, I wanted to ask you too about these postcards that you're doing.
Oh, well, it's kind of up my alley. It was I had to try it out, work at it to see if I could get it to work. And she has this little business. And
this is your daughter, right? Which daughter is it?
The Jennifer, I don't know if you know her. She's the next to the last. She's number 7.
Okay. Yeah, I really only know Stephanie and Ashley. I think everybody else was gone.
The other one, she's a dark-haired.
Okay.
She's very creative, just very piano. She plays by ear. She just is so creative. She just outdoes the rest of us. And anyway, so she has this little business where she sends, you kind of buy a package, and she sends these darling things to these people that she makes and fixes and sends to them on their birthdays or whatever, holidays or whatever. And she throws in a postcard. So she fixes it like a postcard, after I give it to her. And
so it's like a quilted postcard.
I just use scraps.
Use scraps, and you put together like a little square that's the postcard size.
Postcard size.
And then she glues it onto the
I've done all that.
Okay.
And I do the edges. I haven't perfected it yet. I'm still working on it, trying to get it to work right. And then she just puts it in the package, and if the people like it, they let her know.
Okay.
One lady just loved it, and she says, I think I need some more. So I made her a bunch more.
How fun.
So it is fun.
Yeah. So you get to use your talent and make a little bit of money on the side. And
well, she makes the money.
You let her make the money, but you get to use your talent and
I do.
Be creative.
I do.
Love that.
Once I start, then I can't stop. See, then I think about all these other ways. I'm not really that creative. Maybe I am.
You are creative.
Maybe I am.
Dorothy, stop it.
but I can't see me making tiny squares, blocks, and have them be perfect. I couldn't do that. But I can try.
Yeah.
And I'm good at trying, and I'm good at learning how and fixing it if I...
And the more you do it, the better you get at anything that you try to do. So,
that's true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah. So you're going to be an expert. Like you've probably done 10,000 blocks.
Well, I don't know that I'd say that many, but some. I think that I guess there's one cute thing that I should tell, and that is I've kind of left my husband out of all this. But I've married a good man.
Yes, you have.
And he is funny, and he's ambitious, and he works hard, and he's just a good person. So I must tell you this cute thing he did. So we had our anniversary last week.
Okay.
And so he
How many years have you been married?
61.
Okay.
So he went out and got all these cards, and usually we just pass it by. Sometimes we'll do something fun, usually not, just pass it by. But he went out and got all these cute cards, just little ones, just little simple cards. And he put one in every place where I spend all my time.
Oh.
So there was one on the floor in the bathroom. There's one in the fridge. There's one on my sewing machine. And one at the sink.
Aww.
But it was just so cute.
So what cards? Like just little greeting cards that you wrote on?
Little tiny cards. I should have brought you one, but it was like, we are knit together or something like that. Aww. And he'd just say, and I love you because you're a good cook, and I love you because you have good legs, and I love you because whatever.
That's so cute.
And it was so cute.
Actually, we should talk about that because that's something I'm really interested in. Like, how do you, I've been married. We're celebrating our 30th wedding anniversary this summer. And I thought about, like after being married for a long time, you know everything about each other, right? And so there's no new curiosity about, well, I mean, we're changing and we're growing, but we're growing together. And so we kind of know things. So how do you keep the romance there? How do you keep things alive?
We do a lot of sitting on our deck in the evenings when it cools off. We love to look out our yard and our garden and just sit there and visit for a minute. Sometimes we'll read out there. And then we have this little property up north that we have that is beautiful. Yeah. It's just, well, that's a story in itself. You don't have time.
Maybe
for
I
that.
Do want to know it.
Well, if I can tell it in a minute.
Sure. Yeah.
In the 80s, my kids were taking piano at a neighbor's place, and there was a little teeny road that went up over this hill. And I thought, what is that? I'm just curious, because I'd sit there and wait for them to do their piano lessons. And so I walked up there. Well, there was this piece of property. It had a little teeny tiny house. And there was this big, huge property. And I told Lyn about it. And we were able to purchase that in the 80s.
Okay. Yeah.
And it was just a bramble. And then we used that as a place for the kids to work. And they worked hard.
Okay.
It's just like a farm. We just they needed work, and they did. All of them were busy. They planted this, they planted that, they fixed this, fixed that, took out trees, the whole bit.
Yeah. What a great way to keep your kids busy.
Well, it was. Yeah. And they own it kind of now, and they love it. And now it's decorated. It's beautiful. So anyway, now we spend a lot of time there. We gather there at holidays. People, they bring their kids, their friends. We forget, we forget to do all these fun things that we used to do. And so in the morning, I try to remember so that we've hugged, at least had a hug before we get busy.
Exactly. I know. Sometimes I'll look at Robert midday, like, did you kiss me yet? I don't think you kissed me yet. Yes, I'm sure I kissed you already.
Isn't that the truth?
But you have to do those things because marriage is not like it is wonderful and it's lovely. And when you first get married, you have like all the, all that curiosity about each other and you're so excited and whatever. But then it doesn't, I don't want to say smolders, but it like simmers, right? So that you still have that love, but it kind of changes to this like consistent comfort, like you said, and like feeling like you just have each other's backs all the time. And that is a comforting feeling. And it's not the same sort of feeling that you had when you were married. And you have to be okay with that and have to be okay with, maybe it's going to get a little bit boring sometimes, and that's okay. And then you have to spice it up with other different things every once in a while. So
that's true. That is true.
Yeah. Well, I have a few rapid fire questions for you that, it's just fun to talk about. So what has brought you joy in the last 24 hours?
Watching that cute family yesterday, I thought was adorable.
Yeah.
They're good people in church. I love those people.
Which ones?
The Holmes.
Oh, the Holmes. Oh, when they sang. Oh, I know.
All of it.
So beautiful.
Joseph has been helping Lyn out in the garden.
Oh,
so he has hired him the last couple of years.
Okay.
So he's gotten to know him. And then good thing here is that he will teach him. He will talk about things, and especially lately about missions.
Yeah.
And he's been talking about it and telling him things that might be helpful that dads could tell them, but they will listen sometimes to other people better.
Well, and obviously your husband is very well trained in talking to young men, especially. So
he knows what's up.
Yeah,
for sure. So, and his dad has appreciated it.
Okay, I'm gonna put a plug in for my boys. So, when Joseph is gone, he needs help with the garden.
I will remember that.
Yeah, it's so good for them to be working and to be able to have that kind of interaction.
It is good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Good for
Love that. Okay, so what is a good book that you have read recently?
Well, we're right now in the middle of this rough stone rolling.
Yeah.
So I'm liking that. Not years ago, months ago, I read a book called I Refuse to Hate. And I'm trying to think, it was a long time ago, but But it was really impressed me because it was about all the down in Africa, or Botswana or someplace. I can't remember where it was, but his dad was in Africa.
Genocide or something?
Kind of. Yeah,
okay.
all that awful thing that was going on. This son refused to get involved.
Okay.
And what he did to get away from it all, and how hard it was for him to stay away.
Yeah, from all the violence.
Yes. And he had to move from place to place. And finally, he ended up, I think, in the United States and getting an education. But I remember thinking, oh, my word.
So it's amazing how people have to live, right? Mm-hmm. And if you're surrounded by all that violence your whole life, it's easy to, I mean, it's hard for us to see, like, how could you be like that to other people? But if you grow up with that and that is your reality, then it would be very difficult to pull away from that and do something completely different from the rest of your family, especially if your life is threatened.
Right.
For doing that.
And that's just what the story was about, too, that very thing. So that was impressive. I like that.
Yeah, very good.
So, okay.
What about TV show or documentary that you like to watch?
We don't really watch a lot of television unless there's something really good. Lyn really likes the last part of Pride and Prejudice.
Oh, okay.
And
the BBC. Yeah.
So we'll watch that last episode. I don't know if you remember it, but
very romantic. What about a charity or nonprofit that you support?
Well, I guess you could call my quilts. Could you call that?
That's right. Yeah.
I guess
where do you send them? Is there somewhere like, did you do Lifting Hands? Didn't you send them to Lifting Hands for a little while?
I might have, but yes, this is called Sleep in Heavenly Peace.
Oh, okay.
And here's what it is. It's my son lives by the guy that does this. So they're in a cul-de-sac together. That's how we got started. Okay. So the guy, they make a bed. They build a bed or a bunk bed or whatever. It's just very rustic. And then they give them a mattress and then a quilt. And so they give these to all these refugees.
Oh, how neat. Like, they come here to America, or they do it over there?
I think they come here.
Okay, they're ones that come here.
They come here. And they need something. They need things right away.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So they spend, and so I can give him, when I see him, when he pops over or whatever, I can give him sometimes 4 or 5 quilts to give those people.
I love that.
So I know right where it goes. It doesn't go up on the shelf someplace,
It's actually getting used.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
how neat. Wouldn't it be fun to go into some of these people's homes and see them using your quilts?
Well, they did send a picture or two of 2 little girls, little dark-haired girls with the bunk beds, and the quilts were on there. And I thought, okay.
Yeah, they're being used. That makes you feel good, right? Yeah, I always like to feel like whatever gift I'm giving has a purpose, that somebody's going to actually be using it. So Sleep in Heaven and Peace. I will have to look for that one. And then what is, favorite vacation spot?
Lake Powell.
Oh, okay.
We went there for years and years and years. The kids grew up there.
Did you have a boat?
No. Well, yes, we did. Not at first, but we did later on. And then we kind of, we just had to.
Did you rent houseboats and everything? Okay, that's great.
It became, Lake Powell became like our Yellowstone Park.
I love it. Yeah, you develop your own traditions, right? So what is something that you try to do every day?
Worked really fast to get my work done so I could go down and quilt.
You quilt every day.
I do. I nearly do.
Yeah, that's amazing.
We have it on once a month for ladies that want to come over and help tie, and so they come. And that's fun because we gather, brings people together.
Yeah, exactly. Because I feel like, so often we isolate ourselves, and that's what causes so much depression, anxiety, and all of the issues we have. And then we need to go and talk to a therapist about all of those issues we have. But if we were to just gather and quilt together, then maybe you could kind of get some of that out and not.
It's true. That's why they come.
Yeah.
I mean, the quilting is a second part, really.
Yeah. So, thank you so much for being on the podcast. I really appreciate it. This has been a really fun conversation. And for me, that's more of what it is than anything else. So I'm glad I get to know you a little bit better.
Well, thank you. Hasn't been as hard as I thought. Good. It's been fun.
Okay, good.
So we're good.
Thank you for being with us today. And we will see you next time and be sure to check us out at sendymom.com or sendy.mom on social media. And we'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye. In the words of Eleanor Roosevelt, do something every day that scares you.